a pretty important update in the Browns head coaching search from Saturday night into Sunday. As the team has confirmed, they did have an interview on Saturday with former Chargers coach, current Commanders running backs coach, and run game coordinator Anthony Lynn. This is another candidate that gets kind of added to the pool here, and it does help fulfill half of the Rooney Rule, which is a big part of this, because we know they have the interview with Nate Scheelhaase tomorrow, which will make them fully compliant with the Rooney Rule, and then they can make their decision on who they want to hire. We'll talk about that again in a second. I do want to say, though, that this interview must have been done with some reasoning behind it, whether it was that they envisioned Anthony Lynn as somebody who could be on the staff in some capacity, depending on who they chose, or if they considered him a legitimate candidate for this job, because Andrew Berry's not the kind of executive that's going to just go out and do a sham interview, for what it's worth. But beyond that, the Rooney Rule part of this and being compliant with the Rooney Rule as of Monday when they talked to Nate Scheelhaase sets the stage for the Browns to make their final decision and decide which direction they're going. It feels like the winds are kind of blowing in the direction of Grant Udinski or Nate Scheelhaase. If it's Udinski, they can announce that pretty quickly after interviewing Nate Scheelhaase. If it's Scheelhaase, though, that announcement isn't coming for a couple more weeks. So just keep that in mind, that they can make a hire immediately after Monday's conversation with Nate Scheelhaase. But if it is Nate Scheelhaase, it might be something that we're waiting a couple more weeks until after the Super Bowl, depending on what happens with the Rams in the NFC Championship game today, before the next Browns head coach is officially in office. Now, Jim Schwartz is part of this equation too. There was a report over the weekend that we at least know Nate Scheelhaase would consider keeping Jim Schwartz on staff as the defensive coordinator. I think that's some important news in terms of the direction that this organization is looking, because we know they value Jim Schwartz. I do think in the best case scenario for them is hiring somebody who keeps Jim Schwartz on staff. We'll see how this all plays out, but we should have a decision, or we should at least have an understanding of what the decision is, whether they're waiting for Nate Scheelhaase if the Rams win, or if they're just riding with somebody else like Grant Udinski or Jim Schwartz straight up. We will have that answer coming up this next week.